I am trying to make this work. I'm still checking a few things. I'm trying to figure out how to get this on my computer so I can read all your chat stuff. Give me a couple minutes. Yeah, I think that'll work. Ah, just dropped you guys. There. A little better. Now let me see if I can find my own live stream so I could read your chats. I'm using my phone to record, but I'm trying to go on the computer so I can see what you guys are saying. It's actually not showing up. Oh, there it is. All right, I think I figured this out. Oh, cool. What's up, Chris? Okay. All right, so can you let me know how the microphone sounds? Because I have no way of testing on my end if you guys can hear and see me. Oh, cool. You too. Oh, cool. All right, I appreciate you letting me know. Yeah, I have no idea what to, cool. Yeah, I have to figure out how to be able to do a live stream and also read the chat and not look like all I'm doing is reading chats and getting distracted. What's up, Brian? I'm glad you're here as well. I think that's Brian. I can't click on your name to check. Well, I appreciate you checking it out while you're at work. Thank you. Now, the worst part is while I'm reading your guys' chats, I'm looking at myself on two screens, so it's a little distracting. Let me see if I can hide myself. Open up another window, get something in the way. All right, let's try that. I think that might work. Nope. All right, so I like that. Yeah, I got Groot from a friend of mine years ago, and I didn't have the heart to get rid of it. I'd just been carting it around, and since then, this was actually before the movies came out. So since then, the movies got popular, and it's one of my kids' favorite characters and mine too. So I held on to him. Luckily, my house got bigger since then, so it's not out of place. I used to live in a tiny house, and the thing was so big, it just didn't fit in any of the rooms. So I don't know. I guess I could lead conversation a little bit because I know most of you guys are here from the cruise community. So I could probably just talk about some cruise stuff. But I'm also new at this, so bear with me. This is my first time doing it, which I think I said before. So I really just wanted to make sure my video and audio was good, which it seems like you guys can hear me well. And I appreciate, I invited a couple people that I know through social media because I really wanted you to be here because you guys are really cool. And I sort of talk to you all the time. So I appreciate you guys showing up on the chat. When are we gonna see Cobra? I keep filming stuff on the Cobra, so the Cobra content was a little boring. Basically, when I started the channel, I just kept putting up stuff that I was doing, and I didn't really know what everyone wanted to see. And then, the Cobra, you guys saw the Cobra Left Me Stranded video, and I have a couple videos showing like how it left me stranded, how I got it home, what I had to do to sort of get it running, and then really it was all fuel system stuff. So since then the car's running and driving. I put up a video of me driving it. I love the car. And then winter came, so it was really hard to drive a car through winter that has no roof, heat, air conditioning, no amenities. So I really just sat, and then I did put out a video where I drove it one time, and it was like 15 degrees, 20 degrees out, and it was really cold, but it was really fun because I brought my friend Rico. but that's what I was dealing with. Uh, but I have a couple ideas planned where I really want to take the Cobra to the next level because it's a budget car. Whatever I do to it, it'll end up just being better. So I have a couple ideas. I'm just a little busy getting the cruise stuff out because really originally I hated the cruise, and then I started doing all these modifications to make the cruise better, and it's eating up a lot of time. But the cool thing is a lot of people who watch my YouTube channel love it. So because you guys love it, I started liking it more, and then I found out ways to make the car better. So now I love the car. It's one of my favorite cars now. So I'm just sort of getting past some of the cruise stuff, and then when the weather gets warm, I'll be doing more Cobra. So thanks for asking, Chris. What do I think about running E85 in the cruise? E85 is really cool. The problem with E85 is I think if you live in California, you can get it almost anywhere, but in most states, it's very hard to find. Like if I wanted to get E85 right now, it's probably a 2 hour drive for me to get to the gas station and back. And E85 burns so fast that like I'll drive out to the gas station, get a full tank, and by the time I get home, I'll probably have a half a tank. So it really makes no sense. I personally am going to be running methanol injection. So I'm actually designing a kit right now for the Chevy Cruze to where you can run, regular unleaded, super or plus, I'm sorry, regular unleaded plus or super, and then you can add your methanol injection over that. So even if you're using a lower octane, the methanol injection will increase the octane, and you could actually order it and have it delivered to your house. So you can literally get gallons of methanol delivered to your house. And I'm going to set it up so you can fill up your washer fluid container. So you can either do that, or I can have an aftermarket tank under the hood. So you can create whatever ethanol you want. And the good thing is with an intercooler and meth injection, you get much lower intake temperatures and a higher octane. That's my view on it. Plus E85. I mean, look, the older Cruze, you can make a few changes to get it to work, but the new Cruze, it's so difficult that even tuners aren't offering anything on it. So I just don't. I personally don't think it's worth it. But if you live in California, maybe there's someone local who can figure it out. E85 will gum the injectors. There's probably some truth behind that because it's a direct injection engine. It might. Those injectors are, for one, very expensive, and two, because they're such a high. So fuel injectors, the PSI on a regular gas engine is usually like 65 psi, sometimes as low as 30 psi. On a direct injection engine like what we have in our Cruze, it's like 1,000 psi. So the opening on the injectors is very, very small. And E85 is made basically from corn and vegetables. So that's what Chris is talking about, gumming it up. There's a byproduct with it, so it might not be good on a direct injection engine, which again brings me back to methanol because it's its own injector, and if you have a problem, it's like a $5 part. You swap it out, done. You have a pump issue, a pump is like $100. Whereas if you gum up injectors on a direct injection engine, the injectors might cost you, I don't know, yeah, $1,000 to change them all. I mean that's again my view on it. Uh, E85, everything needs to be stainless. And so I think on the Cruze, the way the fuel tank is made and the lines, I think the E85 will actually eat everything up, and I think it'll actually destroy the pump. So that's another problem. The Cruze wasn't designed for E85, which is weird because I mean back in like 2004, I had a Chevy S10 with an Ecotec four-cylinder, and it was flex fuel. It ran on E85. Back then E85 was like, you can get it for nothing. The fuel crisis, everyone's sort of looking for E85 like it's going to be cheaper, but it's actually going to be more expensive and a bigger headache, at least with the Cruze. Um, what else? That's really a question. Will it? You're asking, will it gum the injectors? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that. No, when you asked the question, you were actually right. E85 can gum injectors. It depends on, I've seen it happen on other engines, and I've seen it happen on, I can't think of the engine right now, obviously, because I'm live and I'm trying to do two or three things at once. So again, my apologies. Um, Chat disconnected. Oh, I don't know if I'm still live. It says the chat's disconnected. Let me see here. Unable to connect. Error. Still alive. Okay. Sorry if I'm glitching. Apparently my router dropped out while I was talking to you guys. Router dropped out. Um. Okay, so I'm messaging you guys, letting you know my router dropped out. Can you see me clearly now? Again, I'm new at this. My router might not be able to handle it. Okay, you guys can at least hear me. Okay. Hey, Jeff, what's going on? So, I can't see you guys on my actual YouTube on the computer, so my apologies. I was trying to watch the chat live, but uh, so I'm gonna try and log back in so I could see what you guys are saying to me, because it's easier than looking at my phone. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have some sort of technical difficulties on my first try. Okay, so I appreciate you guys. Letting me know. So yeah, I guess in the meantime, you know, stuff to talk about. I'll just keep looking at the chat to see what you asked. But in the meantime, I guess I have my own subject. I know a bunch of you guys are from the cruise community, so we have an overboost problem. So basically, on the Chevy Cruze, when you're tinkering around with the wastegate, you have what's known as an overboost code. So sometimes it shows up as an underboost situation. What basically happens is there's a wastegate that controls an arm on your turbo. When the wastegate opens and closes, there's a little valve inside the exhaust side on the turbo that actually releases. So basically, the turbo's spooling, and that little valve opens, and then all of that pressure behind the impeller wheel on the exhaust side gets released into the exhaust. So yeah, you Summit, Brian, you just said that you get the overboost code on the highway. So here's a reason for that. The overboost code happens on the highway. The biggest reason why is we're modifying our economy cars into basically race cars. So what ends up happening is we're still trying to drive the cars like they're an economy car, but now the engines are being geared towards performance. So there's two things at play. One is a lot of people don't realize what lugging an engine is. So lugging basically is the engine is working, but it's working harder than it should be. So basically, let's say you're going up a hill. The car needs the downshift, and you need to have like 50% or higher throttle percentage. So let's say you're going up a hill and you're in sixth gear and you're only at like 10%, but the engine's pushing to get all the weight of the car up the hill. That's basically what lugging is. So what's happening is, because you modify your wastegate, the engine's seeing more boost than it should, and basically the ECM says something is wrong. Now, why do I bring up that situation? Well, on the highway, it's sort of the same thing. When you're cruising on the highway in an automatic, you're just driving. You're not realizing all the things that are moving on your car, like in your transmission, on your engine, and on your turbo system. So when you're just sort of just chilling at like maybe 10% throttle, just maintaining speed, your wastegate is in a certain position that's making the engine see more boost than it should. So again, if you were on the highway and you were maybe manually downshifting to like fifth gear or fourth gear and keeping the RPMs up because now it's a performance engine, you'll never see that code. But you're going to see that code if you're just basically lugging along and just maintaining speed. So what you want to do is change your preload. So if you have an aftermarket wastegate, you can adjust that preload. So when we talk about preload on cruises, there's a spring inside the wastegate. For you guys, it'll be reversed. Let me see if I can do this opposite. So for you, if you're standing in front of the engine, you have that valve right here on your wastegate and a rod that goes towards the driver's side. There's a spring. So when the rod gets tightened towards the actuator, you're pulling it toward the arm on your wastegate, and it actually increases spring tension on your actuator. So when you put a little bit extra preload on that, it puts the turbo in a range where you won't get the overboost code anymore. I had to do that a lot when I first started tinkering with the Cruze, so I have a lot of people talk to me about it, which is why I decided to make it my subject on the live chat. So sometimes now you could also maybe relieve some of that tension too on the spring. So really, it's an art form figuring it out, which is why I try and help everybody, directly. So, Brian, if you're stuck with that overboost code, just feel free to message me whenever, and I'll help you out with it as well. What else do we have? All right, so I don't know if your messages are coming in on here. Can somebody just say like hi in the chat so I can see if it's live for me? I'll type to you guys too. Oh wait, just worry because it hits. Okay. Oh, there you go. So all your messages came in really all at once. Okay. Hey Fapano, how are you? Hopefully I said that right. Jeff. Okay, all right. So I see all you guys coming in. So you get worried because it hits 11 psi really low down. So when you're getting the 11 psi, was talking to him the other day, and he suggested that I do this every once in a while. So thanks again. I appreciate it. Brian, by the way, Chris is the reason I started doing this. Also known as Summit. My apologies. So Summit, you're saying it hits 11 psi really down low. So how low is low? Like when are you seeing the 11 psi? Let me message you as well. You're going to press in a wheel bearing? What are you working on? Now, if I say your name wrong, I really apologize, but I always read it as Fapino. If that's incorrect, I apologize. But what are you working on? All right, Summit, you're seeing it under 2,000 psi. Oh, I'm sorry, under 2,000 RPM. So, I guess it might depend. Do you know what gear you're in? Jeff, you're hitting about 7 psi in any gear. I might have a boost leak. That is possible. A really cool way to check for a boost leak is just take some soap and water and put it in a spray bottle. Spray down the intercooler, the turbo, the intake. Not the actual intake to the turbo, but the piping from the turbo to the intercooler, then up to the throttle. Spray it all down and have somebody rev the engine and see if you see any like bubbles at all. It's a good way to check for a boost leak, but you would have to actually produce boost at idle in order to see it. Maybe another idea could pick the wheels up off the ground and put it in gear and maybe drive it a little with the wheels up, and then that's a way to maybe get boost and trick the car. You might get some ABS faults, so turn off the traction control. That's one way to check. Outlander Sport. I never worked on one of those. What year is that one? If it's the older one, it's probably much better than the newest version. I tend to like the older. So I know you like the older Volkswagens and stuff from what I've seen in the conversations that we talk about and on your channel. Either fourth or fifth. Oh, you see, if you're getting 11 psi in fourth or fifth gear, that's from lugging the engine again, Summit. So what's happening is, well, actually, so 2,000 RPMs in fourth or fifth gear. So are you saying it's at like, I want to say, let's say at like 30 miles an hour when you're seeing 11 psi in third or fourth gear? I'm sorry, fourth or fifth gear. I want to visualize when it's coming up. I was assuming it was on the highway. That's usually when everyone gets it. Hey, Manuel Diaz, how are you? I appreciate you joining. Jeff, yeah, let me know. You feel free to comment in any one of my videos and let me know how you made out with that boost leak. I really, whenever there's a problem that I could diagnose, I get pretty excited. I like to know what the outcome is when I point someone in a direction. For years I used to work on, not work, but like join forums where I would always ask technical questions, and I would pick people's brains. And I hate it when someone would ask a question and then you would point them in the right direction, and then they don't say anything. They don't let you know if it actually fixed the problem on the car. So there's dozens, probably thousands of forum posts where there's somebody asking a question, and then like no, like they get like 10 things responding how to fix it, and then never come back and tell you if it actually fixed the car. So let me know. What do we have? Hey, if you do any of your Manuel, sorry if I said your name wrong. If you do any of your mods for the Cruise, do I have to swap everything back to smog test? I'm assuming you're in California, which is why you're asking that question. A California question, I really don't know. In where I am, I'm on the East Coast, so when I go to inspection, I'm fine. Um, Everything is on the car. Anything emissions related is still on my car. The wastegate is not emissions related. All you're doing is controlling your turbo more accurately, so that's not going to change. You know, that's not going to do anything with smog. I still have catalytic converters on my car. I still have a factory exhaust, except for some exhaust tips I have in the back to, you know, pretty the car up. So everything that I'm doing on my channel for the Cruise is, in theory, smog legal. But I just don't know how strict California is. I know I have a guy telling me that my airbox mod that I make, where I actually, you know, I modify the box to get you a free cold air intake, he loved it because it's factory parts, and in California, you can't get in trouble for having that. But if you, let's say you made your old cold air intake, you could actually supposedly get your car impounded. So, touchy subject, I guess. Uh, by the way, let me just touch on this again too. If you do any modifications to your exhaust, if you're in a state that has smog, you probably have to put all of your exhaust emission stuff back on. Now, I personally, I never take those off. If you're the person that does, I would at least put them back on before any kind of, you know, we call it an inspection in my area. What else? A 2015 Sport, just a customer car. He's a waiter. Um, oh, I get what you're saying. So is he the kind of waiter that's sort of chilling in the shop, making sure you're doing everything correctly? Those are my favorite. Your It's strange. All right, Summit. So it's strange most of the time on the highway, but it peaks high on normal roads, sometimes at 35 miles an hour plus. So when you're doing 35 miles an hour plus, are you only overboosting on the highway, Summit, or are you overboosting randomly? Every time I've ever had that code or had anybody come to me with that code, it's usually on the highway. So that's why I brought up lugging the engine. So originally, when I was talking about stop driving the car like it's an economy car, uh, oh, that's pretty funny. Always waiting because you're watching the live stream. That's awesome. I love that. That actually made my day. Thank you. I appreciate that for Pino. I'm sorry, for Pano. If I say it correctly. Unfortunately, I can't hear you say your own name through a chat. Um, what was I saying? Oh, so the overboost code. So typically it's usually on the highway, and oh, that's why I was talking about lugging. So if you stop, we're modifying our cars for performance. We're turning the Cruise into the car that we wish GM put out as a performance car. So you really, like, if you buy a Corvette Z06, you're not going to buy it for fuel economy. You're going to buy it and you're going to drive the hell out of it. So I would imagine a car like that. I know I used to have an older Z06, like an '04. That thing never saw past fourth gear. It had a six-speed manual, and I never ever put it in sixth, unless it was real late at night and I was tired and I just wanted to shut the engine up. But most of the time, you know, that thing's like first through fourth gear. So when I drive my Cruise, I don't think I ever see over maybe fifth gear, sometimes sixth if I'm on a long drive, but barely. I drive that thing like I'm trying to win a race. So uh, maybe adapt that mentality, but let me know. Message me. I know you talked to me on Instagram. Message me on Instagram, and I'll help you tweak that thing a little bit. In fact, I actually met you in person, so if you're ever really stuck, we can look at the car, you know, together one day, and I'll figure out maybe your preload is just a little bit off. Usually, so with your preload, maybe when I was showing you my, you know, my hand diagram on the actuator, take the rod on your wastegate and do 1/2 turn and adjust the preload to go a little closer to the actuator. Just do a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. Sometimes a little half turn is all it takes to make a overboost code go away. I forgot to mention that before, my apologies. But again, I'm a little distracted because I'm talking and reading the chats at the same time. So again, sorry. All right, so faux no. Oh, you're gonna kill me, aren't you? I'm sorry. Faux Faux piano. I'm sorry. Faux piano. If I said that right, please say yes. Faux piano. Faux piano. I think I have it. I'm gonna probably murder it. Oh, it's Italian too. Oh, cool. Okay. You know, I'm Italian, and people get mad at me because I pronounce Italian things wrong sometimes. So my apologies. Uh, just like the PPV on gas, smaller miles per gallon. Yes, you're right, Jeff. It's yeah, for me it's always smiles per gallon. I really could care less about miles per gallon. I've never had a vehicle. Well, you know what? I have one vehicle, the Equinox that you guys see on my channel. Stupidly, I have a supercharger sitting in the garage that I'm going to be putting on that truck, but it it gets the best fuel mileage I had out of all my vehicles, and it's 21 miles per gallon. Even my Cruze only gets 20 miles per gallon because of all the work I do to it and how I drive it. So, but that truck is going to probably get to the point where it's only going to get 15 miles per gallon, but I'm going to get about 1,000 miles per gallon after I get that supercharger on it. So I'm with you there. Faux piano. Wait, faux piano. Faux, faux, faux piano. I think I'm saying that right. Thank you for letting me know. You know what I'm gonna do? Hold on, I'm actually writing it in front of me, just in case I talk to you again. I'm writing it down in my notes, just in case I talk to you again. I have it in front of me so I don't butcher it. I try my hardest to get everybody's names right, so thank you. Okay, so I don't know. I guess I'll ask you, what do you guys think of this first live stream? Because I really have never, I promise you, I've never done this before. I did it one time by accident on Facebook, and it really, what I did was hit live stream by accident and just left my phone on the desk, and I was working, so people just heard me talking to myself and clicking. So this is my first, like, real official one. So what do you guys think? Is this something you want me to do more? Is this something that you enjoy? Do you like the idea of maybe if you have a problem with your car, you can ask me in the chats, which I think is kind of fun. I'm also noticing, let me just say hi in the chat. I'm also noticing that sometimes nothing comes through and I might say something and then all of a sudden a bunch of posts show up. Okay. Yeah, so just let me know. I don't really know how to keep. I think what I'm gonna do in the future is I'm gonna literally have like a notebook in front of me of just questions I get asked constantly, and then I'll have more subjects to talk about. But today was really, I just wanted to make sure my camera worked. I wanted to make sure my video worked. I was having a complication for like an hour trying to get the camera to even work because YouTube kept blocking, telling me error. I think it's because I eventually had to go on the computer and put in my name and do some legal stuff. And after I did that, it finally started working. I appreciate you guys checking it out. You know, I did invite a few people. Some of you guys showed up, so that's great. I don't really quite know how to end it or how long these things should be, but I think we're at what, the 30-minute mark. I think this was fun. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys actually asking me questions and giving me subjects. So if I do other ones in the future, feel free to comment in any of my videos or even here since this is created. I think this will stay on the channel. Just comment times of the day you guys want me to do this. I tried to choose, you know, close to like lunchtime on a Monday. In some states, it's still only like 9 o'clock for you. In other states, you know, it's your lunch hour. So I'm trying to, I don't know what the best time to do this is. I don't know if it should be at nighttime. I was thinking at night it might be hard to see me. During the day, you know, I have my window right here and the room's pretty bright. But at night, maybe I have to put some lights in the room. I don't know. But yeah, feel free to message me anytime, leave comments, you know, let me know about the live stream when you guys think I should be doing it. I really do. Everything you guys say, I get back to you right away. I don't think there's a comment I've ever missed unless the person was just being a jerk and I didn't feel like keeping them going, because there's some, there is cancer on the internet, unfortunately, with some people. But oh, better connection. So yeah, I was hooked up, and then my wife's also working. So I think between the two of us doing these things, the connection was bad. So I had to switch over to. Luckily, I'm using my cell phone. If I wasn't using my cell phone, you guys probably would have lost me completely. But I switched over to cellular instead. So maybe I just need to get a better cell phone for doing this. Uh, Thank you guys. Let's get a better see how many other items are on the Wi-Fi system. Yeah, that's true too. Oh, hey Ken, how's it going? I appreciate you showing up too. Nights are preferred. Okay, I was thinking nights would be better too because everyone's at work right now, regardless of what state you're in. Everyone's at work. So originally this was just a test. I didn't even know if I was going to spend more than 5 minutes doing this, but I'm going over 30 minutes now because I'm enjoying talking to everybody. So, all right, so nights preferred. So I think what I'll do in the future, if I want to keep doing this, maybe once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks, I'll gather topics that I want to talk about, and then I'll pick a night. I guess maybe I'll put a post out there letting you know when, or I think I can choose ahead of time when the live stream will go live, and then based on that, I can let you guys know ahead of time, and I'll pick a night coming up so no one's at work, and I'll try and pick a time where it's like even in California, it's not too late for the East Coast, and it's late enough on the West Coast that everybody is free. I'll try that out. So thanks again, everybody. I think I'm just gonna end it off here. I don't quite know how to end, so my apologies if you still see me for a while, but I don't know how to end this. Wait, here we go.